The twin sons of Eloria painted the sky in gold and pink as Lyra ran through the soft grass of the palace gardens. Her small, delicate feet barely made a sound. She loved the freedom of these gardens, away from the heavy rules of the palace. The flowers here bloomed in every color imaginable, and the air smelled sweet, like honey mixed with a hint of sea salt from the nearby coast. Lyra stopped at the edge of a small pond. The water reflected her bright green eyes. She smiled at her reflection, but quickly looked away, hearing footsteps behind her. "Kai, wait!" she shouted. From the shadows of the tall trees, a small figure appeared. It was Kai, a human boy who had come to Eloria with his parents. He was different from everyone else here. He had pale skin, dark hair, and bright brown eyes that seemed to shine with curiosity. But Lyra had liked him from the first moment she saw him. He was kind, brave, and always ready for adventure. "I told you I could catch you," Kai laughed, running to her side. "You can't outrun me forever." Lyra crossed her arms but grinned. "I don't care about winning. I just like running." The two children were inseparable during Kai's stay on Eloria. Every day was an adventure. They explored the palace gardens, climbed the hills outside the city, and sometimes even sneaked into the crystal forest, where the tall, glowing trees whispered in the wind. Today, they had a special mission. "Do you hear that?" Kai whispered, stopping suddenly. Lyra tilted her head. She heard a faint sound, a soft, pitiful cry coming from nearby. "Someone needs help," she said immediately. Her heart always went out to those who were in trouble. The children ran toward the sound and found a small creature trapped in a tangle of thorny vines. It had the body of a fox, but wings like a bird, shimmering in soft silver and blue. The creature struggled, making soft whimpers. "Oh no, poor thing," Lyra said, carefully moving closer. Kai joined her. "We have to get it out before it hurts itself." Together they worked. Lyra held the creature gently while Kai untangled the vines. The creature looked at them with wide, frightened eyes, but slowly it realized they meant no harm. Finally, it was free. It fluttered its small wings, then hopped into Lyra's arms. "You saved me," the creature whispered in a tiny, musical voice. Lyra gasped. She had never heard a creature speak before. Kai laughed. "I think it likes you more than me." Lyra smiled. "Maybe it knows I'm the friendliest one here." The creature nuzzled her cheek and chirped happily. Lyra laughed. "We should give it a name." Kai thought for a moment. "How about Silverwing?" Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Perfect!" She hugged Silverwing tightly, feeling the soft warmth of its fur. Kai watched her and suddenly said, "Lyra, I have to tell you something." Lyra looked up at him. "What is it?" Kai's eyes were serious. "When I grow up, I want to marry you." Lyra blinked. She didn't know what to say. The idea was strange and funny at the same time. Kai was just a boy like her, and she was a princess from a distant planet. You mean it?" she asked, a little shy. Kai nodded firmly. "Yes, I promise. I will come back and marry you when I grow up." Lyra laughed softly. "That's a big promise for a little boy." Kai grinned. "Then I better make sure I keep it." They laughed together, but somewhere deep inside, Lyra felt a warmth in her heart. It was a strange feeling, something she had never felt before. She didn't fully understand it, but she liked it. The rest of the day was spent playing with Silverwing. They built little forts, ran through the fields, and even made a tiny garden for Silverwing near the pond. The sun slowly began to set, painting the sky in deeper oranges and purples. Kai looked at the horizon. "Tomorrow we have to go to the city market with my parents," he said. Lyra's smile faded slightly. She didn't want him to leave, even for a short time. "I'll miss you," she said quietly. Kai took her hand. "I'll be back. I promise. And one day, I'll keep the other promise too. Lyra squeezed his hand, feeling a strange flutter in her chest. She didn't say anything, but she knew she would remember this promise forever. The next day, Kai's family prepared to return to Earth. The children walked to the spaceport, carrying small gifts for each other. Lyra gave Kai a necklace made of tiny crystals she had found in the crystal forest. "Here," she said, "so you'll always remember me." Kai smiled and took it. "I will, and I'll come back one day, with more than a promise." The spaceship lifted off, leaving Lyra standing on the platform, watching as Kai disappeared into the sky. Tears filled her eyes, but she smiled through them. She had a feeling that this was not the end. Years passed on Eloria. Lyra grew taller, stronger, and wiser. She learned about ruling her planet, making decisions for her people, and the responsibilities of a princess. Yet, she never forgot Kai. Every time she looked at the stars, she imagined him somewhere far away, keeping his promise. Meanwhile, Kai's life on Earth was full of challenges. He trained to be a space explorer and diplomat, learning about alien cultures, technology, and the many dangers of the galaxy. But he never forgot Lyra. Her face, her laugh, and their childhood promise were always in his heart. Kai often told himself, "One day, I will return to her. One day, I will keep my promise." Back on Eloria, Lyra faced pressure from her royal advisors to consider political marriages. Several alien princes had come to her palace, hoping to win her hand. But Lyra's heart remained untouched. She refused every proposal, secretly holding on to the memory of a human boy who had promised to marry her. One evening, she sat in her room, holding Silverwing, the creature they had saved years ago. Silverwing had grown, but it still remembered her. The creature chirped softly, nuzzling her hand. "I hope he's safe," Lyra whispered. "I hope he remembers me too." At that moment, she felt a strange determination. She would wait. No matter how long it took, no matter the challenges, no matter the other pressures, she would wait for the boy who had made her heart feel something special. Little did she know, somewhere far away, Kai was looking at the same stars, thinking of her. His journey back to Eloria had already begun in his mind. He had grown brave, strong, and skilled, and he was preparing for the day he would return, not just as a boy with a promise, but as a man who could keep it. As night fell over the twin suns of Eloria, the stars sparkled like tiny crystals. Lyra and Kai, separated by worlds and years, both held onto a promise that would shape their future. A promise made in innocence, but powerful enough to survive distance, time, and the challenges of the galaxy. And so, the story of the little boy who promised began. Years had passed since Kai had left Eloria. The twin suns still shone over the planet, but Lyra was no longer the small, carefree girl who had run through the palace gardens. She had grown into a young woman, strong and graceful, with a sense of duty that touched every action she took. The palace halls were quieter now, filled only with the careful footsteps of advisors and servants. Lyra spent hours studying politics, learning about trade, defense, and diplomacy. Her people depended on her, and she was determined to be a wise leader. Yet, even amidst the responsibilities, her thoughts often drifted to Kai. She remembered his laughter, his bright eyes, and the promise he had made. She wondered how he had changed, what he was doing, and whether he remembered her. One evening, she walked through the palace gardens alone. Silverwing perched on her shoulder, chirping softly as if sensing her mood. "Do you think he is safe, Silverwing?" Lyra asked quietly. The creature tilted its head and nuzzled her cheek. "I hope he remembers me," Lyra whispered. "I hope he keeps his promise." Far away, on a planet covered in metal cities and floating spaceports, Kai was training. He had grown tall and strong, his body honed for endurance, and his mind sharpened with strategy and science. He had become a skilled space explorer, learning the ways of alien worlds, understanding languages, and mastering technology. But no matter how busy he was, he never forgot Lyra. Every lesson he learned, every star he visited, he imagined showing her the wonders of the galaxy. Her memory kept him going, pushing him to become braver and stronger than he had ever thought possible. One day, as Kai studied alien maps in a massive human space academy, his instructor said, "Kai, you have the skill, but do you have the heart to lead? You will face worlds that distrust humans. You must earn their trust." Kai's mind went to Lyra immediately. "I will," he said firmly. "I will protect what matters, and I will keep my promise." Meanwhile, Lyra faced her own challenges. Several alien princes and noble leaders had begun to visit Aloria, hoping to earn her favor. Many were charming, clever, and powerful, but Lyra could not bring herself to care for any of them. Her heart was elsewhere. Her chief advisor, a stern but wise elder named Mael, often spoke to her. "Princess Lyra, your people need a political alliance. We must consider these matches seriously." Lyra shook her head. "I cannot marry someone I do not care for. I will wait for someone I truly trust." Mael's eyes narrowed. "You speak as if a human boy will return. Is this not childish?" Lyra met his gaze firmly. "Perhaps. But he made me a promise, and I believe some promises are stronger than politics." Life on Aloria continued, with the usual rhythms of palace life and royal duties. Lyra trained in swordsmanship, studied alien technology, and learned about her planet's defense systems. She became a strong, capable leader, admired by her people and respected by her advisors. Yet, in the quiet moments, she still thought of Kai, wondering if he would ever return. Then, a new challenge appeared in the galaxy. Reports came from nearby star systems of a hostile alien faction moving closer to Aloria. Their ships were massive, and their tactics were aggressive. The elders feared war. Lyra listened carefully to the reports, her mind racing. "We must prepare our defenses," she said. "We cannot let our people be harmed." Her advisors nodded, but anxiety filled the room. Lyra felt a strange determination. She would protect her planet, no matter what. But deep in her heart, she wished Kai were there. She wished he could see her now, see how much she had grown, and how ready she was to face challenges. On Earth, Kai heard similar reports. The hostile faction was not just a threat to Aloria, they were a danger to nearby planets, including human colonies. Kai realized that the galaxy was becoming dangerous, and that someday he might need to return to Lyra, not just to keep a promise, but to help protect her. Kai trained harder. He practiced piloting, combat strategy, and diplomacy. Every lesson, every mission was preparation. He wanted to be ready, not just for adventure, but for the day he would see Lyra again. Time passed, and both Lyra and Kai changed in ways they had not imagined. Lyra grew wise and brave, earning the respect of her people. Kai grew skilled and strong, ready to face challenges across the galaxy. Yet both still carried the memory of a promise made under the twin suns, years ago. One afternoon, Lyra walked to the palace balcony, overlooking the city. The sunlight glinted on the rooftops and the distant seas, making everything shine like gold. She sighed, her thoughts heavy with memories. "I wonder if he is out there thinking of me," she said softly. Silverwing chirped, as if to say yes. In that same moment, Kai gazed at a holographic map of Aloria. He traced the planet with his finger, imagining Lyra standing on that balcony, her hair flowing in the wind. He smiled. "Soon," he whispered. "I will see you soon." Back on Aloria, Lyra faced her first real political test. One of the alien factions suggested a marriage alliance with a neighboring planet. The prince was powerful and clever, but Lyra could not accept. She held firm, stating, "I will not marry for politics. I will marry for trust and promise." Her people were surprised by her courage. Many young princesses would have accepted for the sake of peace. But Lyra's heart was strong. She believed that trust, loyalty, and love were more important than any political alliance. Silverwing landed on her shoulder, chirping softly. Lyra laughed. "Even Silverwing agrees with me," she said. The creature's soft eyes glimmered in the sunlight. Meanwhile, Kai's training and missions brought him closer to understanding alien cultures. He studied their languages, learned their history, and even helped mediate small disputes. Humans were often seen as weak or untrustworthy in the galaxy, but Kai was determined to change that. He wanted to prove that humans could be brave, intelligent, and loyal. One night, as he rested on the observation deck of a space station, Kai looked at the stars. Eloria's twin suns were far away, but he could see the glimmer of its moons. He thought of Lyra, her bright green eyes, and the promise he had made so long ago. "I will return," he whispered to the stars. "I will keep my promise, no matter what it takes." Back on Eloria, Lyra faced a minor crisis of her own. A small group of rogue merchants tried to manipulate trade agreements to take advantage of her planet. Lyra, despite her youth, handled the situation wisely. She negotiated fairly but firmly, showing that Eloria would not be exploited. Her advisors were impressed. "Princess, you are growing into a true leader," Mael said. Lyra smiled faintly. "I must protect my people. I must be ready for anything." That night, as she gazed at the stars from the palace garden, she felt a sense of anticipation. Something was coming. The galaxy was changing. And deep in her heart, she felt that the boy who had promised to marry her would one day return. Somewhere far away, Kai was preparing for his own journey. He had trained, learned, and grown. He was ready to face the galaxy and prove that humans could be heroes. He was ready to return to Eloria, to the girl who had captured his heart so many years ago. The stars shone brightly over both Eloria and Earth. Across the vastness of space, two hearts were connected by a promise, waiting for the day they would meet again. And so, as the galaxy quietly turned, Lyra and Kai continued to grow, stronger, wiser, braver. The promise remained, shining like a distant star, guiding them toward each other. The adventure of their hearts was only beginning.